Lightwaves Radio is for all seekers of truth and anyone who seeks to understand the many mysteries of our place in the cosmos and life itself. We explore a variety of topics that we feel are most urgent and valuable at this time and strive to find real truth and solid answers through contemplating, sharing, and exploring experiences and understanding of the bigger picture.
We live in an incredibly exciting, new, and even awkward time in the history of our planet. History has been written and rewritten in so many ways, and truth hidden for so many reasons. It is a very real challenge to discern what is real and what is programmed in our society and our lives. Together and through our mutual explorations and discussions, we all have the ability to elevate our understanding and raise the frequency of our planet to a level that literally assists the evolution of humankind. There's so much we can do to make a difference for ourselves, our lives, and our future within the greater universal reality. Please join us in this journey of discovery.
Evolve your truth.
We are all here for a purpose. Let us discover what is within us and what we are yet to discover from without us.
Welcome to Lightwaves Radio Show Inner Circle, and tonight we have a special guest here with us. PaulWesley will be joining us, a.k.a. Prince Truthchaser, and let me go ahead and bring him. Co-host Guy Weddle, welcome to Inner Circle.
How are you doing today, Wendy?
Amazing. How are you?
Not bad, actually. Hot as hell.
Is it? I think it's probably hotter here in Arizona.
Yeah, it might be, but I'm just a wuss, so...
Okay. And let me go ahead and bring in our guest, PaulWesley, a.k.a. Prince Truthchaser. Welcome to Inner Circle.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? I just start off to say thanks for, inviting me to the show.
Great. We're really happy to be here.
And hi to everybody out there who's, listening to the show.
Great. And, Paul, would you first go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. First, well, the one thing I want to talk about that I think is really important is the whole abduction situation that has been going on worldwide. And, to get in a little bit about myself with that, it would kind of be where I myself, was an abductee. I was born and raised in Philadelphia. I was abducted, from a young age, and so that's basically a lot where I can, have based a lot of my experience from that. Plus, I've interviewed a lot of people, and I'm just a guy who cares about humanity, has been abducted. I've done videos, interviews on, with different movements. I've interviewed Peggy Kane, Sophia Smallstorm. She's really good with the chemtrail issue. So I mean, just a guy, a regular guy that's passionate about humanity, and wants to share my story with the world.
Great. Definitely. We're glad that you're here to do that. So, Paul, you said that you yourself was an abductee. When did this happen?
Oh, God. Wow. You have to go way back. The earliest I can remember would probably be like 6 years old.
Okay. What how did it
I was really young. Yeah. I'm sorry, Wendy, what did you say?
How did that happen? What happened when you were 6?
From what I can remember, it was kind of like I guess you call it, what's that, astral travel, where you kind of out of the body experience, and I would kind of float, I guess you'd say float out of body, what seemed to me, as a kid, and I would be floating out of the window, and I would be grabbing on like the street lights, trying to hold on. And, I was, I don't remember too much as far as like being on a craft, but I do remember seeing these beings, you know, the little big-headed grays with the big black eyes. Now, I want to make a point with that. The eyes that they have aren't real. They're actually lenses to help them see in the dark. And our sunlight that, you know, helps us all, you know, it's to help them from that sunlight. A lot of people don't know that, but, you know, I just want to throw it out there.
I'm glad that you told us. Thank you. And were there other experiences you had like this?
Actually, yeah, there were. It was, you know, it was the grays at first, and that pretty much happened, I would say, for, I don't know, I'm 32, so I would say I was about 20. And then I was contacted by a feline race, beings, that stand about 9 feet tall, I guess you'd say. I would guess about 9 feet tall, if I had to guess. And they're from Lyra, and, you know, basically it was an empowering experience for me, because when I seen these beings, you know, it was like, okay, listen, you know, you're here, you're on a mission. You know, if you empower yourself, you know, you can get rid of all these negative beings, because that's what they are. They're negative beings that feed off of negative energy. And you know, ever since I was approached by this higher dimensional, you know, feline race, everything's been smooth sailing, and I've been, you know, on the mission that I'm on, where I just want to help, you know, bring this world to a, you know, a higher love vibrational, you know, consciousness, because that's what needs to happen.
I agree.
Well, you know, dude, I never really had. I've had experiences to where I had a lot of missing time at a young age.
Yeah.
Where I would be in the house when I was a little kid, and I would just disappear, and then they'd find me 3-4 hours later. I'd be walking down the road with, you know, just my shirt on, no diaper or nothing. And I'm all
oh
laughing.
My God!
Yeah, and I'm all laughing and giggling. You know, I'm all, you know, I'm not like upset and stuff. So
you weren't terrified and shaking in a corner somewhere, right?
Yeah, and then in, like, junior high or whatever, I had 3 whole days to where I woke up and I was wrapped up in a blanket like a burrito. Essentially, it was just my head sticking out of the top, and you know, my parents busted in the room. Where the hell you been? Where'd you go? And I'm just terrified. I'm just laying there, you know, and I'm just like staring at them. So I have no idea where I've been. I have no memory of it.
Right.
You know, so
wow.
Yeah, I see.
So just no memory at all. You've never actually seen any beings, nothing like that.
No. Not that I can remember. I haven't had any regression or anything like that done about it. But you know, I'm just letting it happen. If I remember it, I remember it. I've had so many other you know, types of things happen to where just really high strangeness, you know. And as with Wendy, and that's why we got you on today, so we can you know, all come together and just talk this stuff out, because a lot of listeners have stuff too, you know, and it just reinforces what or validates what they're going through. So
you know what? I'm sorry. Go ahead, buddy.
You know, go ahead, man.
Yeah. Well, the thing is a lot of people that have been abducted, you know, you know, it depends on how much an individual knows as far as like the galaxy goes and certain rules that play within, you know, the galactic rules. And one is free will, and free will is being taken from people. Now, the Greys, if you want, I can get into a little history of them, but I'm not going to kill too much time with it, just a little bit. They're called the Zetas, okay? And this is a slave race. Now, they themselves are a dying race. Now, you know, they have time travel capability, so it may seem like, okay, well, back in like ancient Sumerian times, you know, they had been here and you know, they've been watching over us. Well, that's all BS. It's all bullshit. The truth is they have time travel capabilities, and they've only been here for about 73 years. When they got here, the Germans turned them down. The United States government said, look, we'll give you a couple of heads of cattle. You can experiment on them. You can save your race. But in return, we want tech. We want anti-gravitational technology. We want dark matter, technology. And, that's what had happened. And, they're called the Zetas. I'm pretty sure that's the name of them. And it's like I said, they're a slave race. And, it's rough because a lot of people have been abducted and they think like, okay, well, what's the matter because I have a fetus, and then 2 weeks later the fetus is missing. All right? People are being like, forced against their free will to be like experimented on. And this has been going on since what, like the 50s? I myself kind of figure, all right, well, this is an advanced race of beings. It should be done and over with by now, right? They should have already got what they wanted and, whatever. But the thing I want to address in the show is the hybrids. Where are all these children, these star children? Where are they? Okay? They have to be somewhere. Now, I do issues on chemtrails. I do issues on Monsanto. And it's all facts. I do issues on the fluoride and nasty stuff that's in our water. It's kind of like we're being slow killed off as society, as a race. But why? And if you really sit and think about it, what makes sense to me is you have what's called the Great Awakening. People are waking up. People are saying, hey, we live on a present planet. Governments are fake. Money's BS. Whole systems are rigged. We're all a bunch of, slaves. And what would you do if you were the elite or few who controlled the many? You would be scared shitless. You're like, okay, well, what are we going to do? Now, the easiest thing to do is kill off the population and have these hybrids take over. You understand what I'm saying? It's kind of like, okay, well, we don't have to worry about mass uprising or revolution. We slow kill them. Boom, bang, bang. That's one thing that could be happening. And there's a bunch of other possibilities, but I'm not going to take up too much time because I know you guys want to talk. So.
No, man, this is your show.
Absolutely, we want to hear from you, Paul. Definitely.
Let it rip. People can hear my big mouth.
All right. Well, I just want to throw out a couple names real quick. One is Phil Schneider. He was in the UFO business. He was a naval officer. He talked about underground bases. He was found. I think they said he hung himself. It was a suicide. Another one is Carla Turner.
He actually had a stroke. He was
another one's Carla Turner, and she's a UFOologist, and she's actually has a PhD and all that. She had got cancer, and she mysteriously died. I think there's a total of 137 recorded people. When they start speaking truth, they're just mysteriously gone. But you said that Phil Schneider had a stroke?
Yeah, he had a massive stroke. He's a pretty big guy, and if you ever listened to him talk or watched him talk, he got very upset. Veins bulging out of his head. And, maybe they scared him. Oh yeah, he would be pretty.
It's always a heart attack or stroke or cancer, though. That's the thing. It's either a heart attack or stroke. Well, a stroke is kind of like condition, kind of in the same family as a heart attack. Yeah. But it seems to be the recipe for death for anyone who decides to think outside the box and go against the agenda.
Sure, that's been happening with scientists all over the world. They just die. Car wrecks are good.
They just happen to pass away somehow. But it's where are all these hybrids? That's the question. I'm sorry, Wendy. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say there's definitely a pattern with everyone. So go on.
Well, they could definitely be in hiding or not turned on yet. You know what I mean? I mean, there's definitely probably a switch of some kind, or maybe they're waiting a couple generations, maybe.
I don't think there's a switch, and I'm going to tell you why. I believe in synthetic beings, and I think that the Greys are one of those. But I do believe what I think is that they're already amongst us. I did a video called, you can't really hear it, but it's called an Occupy video. It's called Occupy in the Love Tent. And we were talking about UFOs, and one thing the girl said to me is something I've actually questioned myself as being a little, off the wall about this, but, I had came to the conclusion, like, if you go to the hipster coffee shops in the inner cities and you go to the hipster bars, everything's different. Their drinks are different. Their food is different. The clubs are different. They dress different. And I'm not talking about, like, hippies, like, peace, we are peace hippies, because they're not the type of hippie. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't want change or a green earth. It's just totally off the grid. Now, when I interviewed this girl, she says to me, she goes, I said, well, how do you know if you can spot a hybrid or not? And she goes, well, I was in the coffee shops, and my mind just went, wow. I was just like, no, I did not. Because I've been saying this for a while now. And ever since I've been contacted by this feline race, this Lyrian race, I've had the gift to tell if someone's a hybrid or not. I can tell if you're a shape-shifting or a shapeshifter, if you're a hybrid, I just know. And it's not only the eyes. It's, the eyes are kind of like, everyone says, okay, what's the eyes? But it's the side cheekbone. You can tell by the nose. I can just tell by the aura. The tongue, just talking to you for 5 minutes. I can tell. And I'm on record saying this, and I don't care if people call me a kook. That's fine. I mean, I can tell. But the one thing.
This is my mantra that I tell everybody is that, it's from Hellboy, and it's just, us freaks gotta, we gotta stick together.
Right.
And, you can't let people try to take your voice away, no matter how weird it sounds, because you just got to keep walking your walk, man. Keep your head up. If they don't want to listen, then it's their fault.
I'm also going to name. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say you can't save everybody, right, Tracy?
I don't think you can, but I'm sure it's all going to try, man. I'm just like, my passion for humanity is what keeps me going. You know what keeps me going is when I go to a park and I'm with my kid and I see a little kid playing and they wave at you and I look up and I feel the shit being sprayed in the sky with a chemtrail. That's what keeps me going. That high five, that look. Or when someone, contacts me and you're like, dude, what you're doing is real, you're putting your ass on the line. And it's ego-free, I never ask for donations for anything. You know what I mean? You have people that say, oh, well, can you donate for, my webpage, or can you donate for this? Like, if I have a passion for it, I don't ask for a dime. And I just want to put that out on your show. If this is what I do, I pay for it. If there's an event you want me to go to, I pay for it. I go to it. And I've always been a strong believer. Unless I'm selling something and someone wants to buy it, that's different,
Exactly. And you have to go with what resonates true to you. Definitely.
Yeah. But the whole abduction thing, I mean, this is real. Millions and millions and millions of people worldwide have been abducted. I can get into different bases, how the NSA is directly involved with the black government, secret government, and it all comes from the National Security Agency. They're the ones that are involved with the whole hybrid agenda, the gray agenda. And, the one thing is that I want people to know is that with all the nasty things that are going on in the world, with chemtrails, with everything, there's a way out, and that way out is through love and through light, and understanding the fact that we live in a third-dimensional planet. And, we can't expect a galactic federation to come down and save us. We can't expect an Andromedan council to come down and save us. We have to raise each other's, vibration to where it's a love. Because see, when we do that, we raise the planet's vibration, the trees, everything, everything. And this is the only way out of this mess. And see, the powers that be, they know this. This is why there's wars started. This is why, shit's going on over in the Middle East and everything else. They want to keep everyone in a panic of fear. Because when you do that, you lower, you keep the vibration on the planet low, and what happens is you have chaos. That's what they want. And, I know that's kind of off the UFO topic, but.
No, that's okay. So we want to hear about everything. And so you've gone to a lot of different events and stuff. So what is your take on it? Your take is just that they're trying to, cause fear. What else have you gotten from the events and information and stuff that you received?
Well, through events I went through, a lot of people, it seems to me like, especially the Occupy movement in general, I agree with some of it. Some of it I don't. I'm there to film, I'm there to video and show people that can't get off their couch or that are on their couch and won't get off their couch. I want to show them what's going on. And, but I think that the Occupy movement and a couple other movements, they look at the small picture. It's like, okay, banks are ripping us off, okay? Okay, Wells Fargo or Comcast are ripping us off, but that's just a small piece of the pie of what's really going on. And you would have to look at, and the Fed and, the Rothschild, the Bilderbergs. You would have to really get deep down into the, I think that what the elite wants is they want mass fear. They want mass panic. And, I think it's all connected to the alien agenda. Of course I do. Because, they see these negative beings, the Greys, the Dracos meaning Draconians. They're the badasses of the universe. They range anywhere between, I would say, 7 feet to about 12 feet height. The women of the species are the same thing, warriors. I think their language, from what I was told, is called Eshu. It's E-S-S-H-U. And the women have battle contests with the elders. And I don't want to get into this real quick, and I know I'm taking up a lot of time, but when I first found out about reptilian myths and Grey Bat, I was first angry because I heard the Orion words, and it's words in Lyra, and what had happened was there was a human reptilian war all throughout the universe, the galaxies, everything, and that's what happened was Lyrians went to the Pleiades and so forth and so on. But when I first figured out about alien, when I got deep down with the reptilian agenda, I was angry, and then the anger turned to love, and then love turned back to anger, and I kept struggling. It was like a tug of war with me, and then ultimately it comes down to love, and I think that is the only way out. But I wanted to understand the enemy. I want to know where you shit, where you live, everything, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And I kind of figured by doing this and understanding the enemy, then you can find a way out. Because until you understand them, and then when I did that, I've met people who I've seen shapeshift, who I've seen feed people on the street. Now, doesn't that kind of, doesn't that kind of, now, and that brings me to are all reptilians evil? And I don't think so. A lot of people say, the Draco, they destroy planets, they do this, they enslave people, they enslave the Greys. This all may be true. But there's the Arcturians who are positive, and other different beings, and you have positive beings and you have negative beings. The positive beings are attracted to love, they're attracted to, kindness, stuff like that. But you guys have anything to say?
Well, what do you think attracts them to our planet?
Well, I think what attracts them to the planet is the fact that the Zetas, the Greys, are a dying species. And our DNA, when we were seeded here, we had a 12 helix DNA strand, and now we have like a 2. So somewhere along the line, we were manipulated. And like I said, the Greys have, time travel capability. We were manipulated to where, this is why we can't, when you say about humanity being enslaved and this and that, because like I said, we were originated with the 12 helix DNA strand, but what attracts them to the planet is simple. It's got our DNA. We're the perfect slave race, if you think about it. We reproduce fast. We're just a perfect slave race for the Dracos or for the Zens. And, you know, they're a dying species, and they want to you know, reproduce, so they use us to do it. Another thing is that I've heard was gold. I heard gold was a big thing, and they kind of mix it into a powder. This is why back in early times you had, like, you know, the big obsession for gold and gold mining and this and this and this and this. It's because I think it was the Draco's planet was one of the planets where the reptilians lived on. It was something with their sun, where their ozone layer was messed up, and they needed the gold to actually fix it. So, you know, there's all kinds of different reasons for why.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
You know,
gold is pretty abundant in the universe. It's one of the you know, heavy elements created during a supernova. So, you know, it's everywhere. But
right.
So, when you first saw someone shapeshift,
right.
where were you and what were you doing? Were you just like at a coffee shop or walking down the road, or were they driving their car?
In a coffee shop?
You know, well,
honestly,
you know,
man, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you, the honest truth is I was making love.
Okay.
And the girl that I was making love to, her left, which would be her left thigh, shifted, and her left arm shifted. And it wasn't like you would say, all right, it's green, green, green. It wasn't a green. It was like a rough brownish color. And I later fixed. Now, see, at this time, to the extent of what I know now, okay, about reptilians and this and this and this. So from what I hear, the brown look of them is kind of like the older race that have been. I guess they've been here for a long, long, long time. I guess because it's the white ones are the Dracos, the brown skin ones are would be like second, and then you would have the green skin, you know, or something. But the first time I was with this girl. I'm not going to name her name. She knows who she is, and she's going to probably scream at me because I'm saying this on your show.
Yeah.
But yeah, she shapeshifted, and you know what? I wasn't scared though, guy. At the time, I had this. I think she was more surprised that I seen it because I got this overwhelming feeling of like I was just being used at the time. It's like a telepathy, energy, like anger, because it was like shit. He not only did he see it, but I wasn't scared. I was just like, oh shit, like what am I saying here? And yeah, it was. That was the first time.
Did it ruin the mood?
You know what? Not so much. I'm not going to say not, because then you got to think I'm a freak. But no, you know, it was weird. It was weird. It was weird. But I would say that the energy ruined the mood because it was like a shit. You see me, and I was just like, all right, whatever. Maybe my eyes are playing tricks on me. It felt different, you know. But I was like, whatever. At the time, I didn't know what was going on.
Mushrooms are kicking in.
Sometimes when you're in the mood, you're in the mood.
Oh,
what
yeah.
Did you say, guy?
I just said, yeah, the acid started kicking in.
But, you know, I questioned her about this, and she admitted it. She's like, yeah, you know, this is what happened, and, you know, do you hate me? And I said, no, I don't hate you. And I said, no. And then she said, well, how would you feel if I told you I was something that you're fighting against? And I said, well, that would depend on if you hated humanity, because if you hate humanity, then we have problems. And if you don't hate humanity, if you're love, then shit, I love you. I mean, this is what it's all about. It's all about love and light, and that's key. You know, we create our own reality through thought. You know, and I think the two biggest, you know, shackles on humanity as a whole is religion and the media. And I believe that religion is, because it's like you have to get down on your knees and you have to pray, and it's going to piss a lot of people off. But, you know, when are we going to empower ourselves as human beings and change the world ourselves? You understand? And mainstream media is the same way. That's the other, I would say, the other biggest shackle on humanity, because they control us through television, they control us through lies. It's just a big circle of bullshit control.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's keeping us from evolving as a species.
Yeah. Right. But I kind of feel like go ahead.
No, I was going to say, did she point out any other people or get into?
Well,
is she in the know about what's going on, or is she just here?
You're talking about the girl that shapeshifted?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, she knows exactly what's going on, and here's the thing, it's like I said, at this time, I knew nothing to the extent that I know now. Nothing about manifesting your own thoughts, controlling your mind, and everything else, and she looked at me and she's just like, look, we were in a hotel, and I'm not going to get into details because she's going to hear this and it's like close by. Not like close by as like in my house, but you know what I'm saying. So anyway, but she looked at me and she's like, dude, I know everything about you. She knew when I was at my mom's house at the time, she was in another state. She knew exactly what my wall in my mom's house, what my bed looked like. And you got to remember, at the time, I didn't take this. I took it with a grain of salt, because just like any person who was asleep in La La Land would. You know, it's like, you would be like, oh, okay, well, I'm a little freaked out that she might be psychic. Maybe that's all it is. But she knew, and you know, I kind of tip my hat to her because knowing what I know now, she kind of, when she seen my video, the whole UFO invasion, you know, holographic hoax or fact, she got a little angry at that. She's like, look, you know, we're not all evil, and, you know, you don't want to learn anymore, you don't want to learn. I'm like, what do I need to learn? I already know everything about you. It is what it is, girl. If you want to be cool with me, let's be cool. You know, I'm not going to come at you negative, but hey, I'm here to save the world. And as crazy as that sounds, you know, I don't plan on making a dime from it. I don't want to make a dime from it. I don't want to be the next Alex Jones. I don't want to be the next David Icke. I don't want to be the next Wilcox. I just want to be PaulWesley from Truthchaser and hug people, see them smile, and raise love vibration. That's it. And if I can, you know, raise the love vibration on my shape-shifting friend, then shit, I'll do it. Because she does seem kind of angry at times, but it's just, I don't know.
Okay, and Paul,
I love everybody.
good, I'm glad. Paul, earlier you mentioned that you can always tell if someone is a hybrid. You kind of, is it like a feeling? How do you have a knowing that they're hybrids?
I would say a mental feeling more than like a physical or energy feeling. I mean, I've conditioned my mind to the point to where, you know, it's kind of like right out of a Star Wars book where you can influence other people through thought, through eye contact, through energy. Not that I do that, I don't, but you know what I'm saying? I can see it like through my mind. Like if I was to look them in the eyes, they would know I knew instantly. It's hard to explain unless you're like people who meditate and you know who have the gift will understand what I'm saying. You can just you know. It's kind of like if you see a cat on the street, you know it's a cat, right? The cat looks at you, the cat knows that you know, the cat knows you're a human being. You just know. For the untrained mind, you wouldn't know anything. You're like, oh, it's just some dude that's walking down the street, you know?
Right.
It's out there. And what I'm saying is out there, but it's true. We all have the gift. It's just we've been beaten down as a society, as people, for so long. And you know, they push from you know cradle to grave. They push candy on our kids. They push vaccines on our kids. They push fucking you know pharmaceuticals on our kids. They want us in this state of low vibration and asleep. They want us to stay down there. They don't want millions of people like me and you who know what's going on, because then, you know what, we would take over the planet and it would be a planet of love. And these negative beings, that they don't want that. And love is key, and one thing is that I've heard about the underground bases are being destroyed. I've heard that there's sonic beams that are being shot into these bases that we can't see, that are actually, you know, knocking them off. And I also heard that there's an astral war going on, and what I mean by astral war, I mean when you die. When you die, you go to, you know, the other world, you know, afterlife.
Right.
I heard there's a war. It has to be done there first, because that's where humanity is, believe it or not, it's worse there than it is here. In some cases, but that has to be cleaned up first. And then, this reality is going to be taken care of. But the one thing I want to stress is this alien invasion. Everyone's got their eyes on the sky. Everyone's, oh my God, UFO. The UFOs are flown and operated by the United States, by the humans and the Dracos. Dracos being reptilian, 7 foot, 12 foot, 7, 9 foot, 12 foot, whatever. There's many different sizes. That's who's flying them. Okay? Now, the problem is this, is that you have this massive uprising. Like I said, they can kill us off and the hybrids can basically take over. Or what they can do is, the one way to stop everything, a massive uprising of any kind, is a UFO invasion. And like with the Tupac holographic thing, they had them on stage dancing around. It looked real. If they were to do that, and I want to be clear with everyone who's going to hear this, because this is straight from the heart. I'm a man of love and light, and I want you to understand what I'm about to say. It hasn't been said anywhere else. The plan is going to be this. If it's a hoax, they're going to say, okay, there's evil aliens here. We took care of them. We've been living in underground bases under the earth. We were originated from the dinosaurs. But when the Big Bang or whatever hit, the dinosaurs were all extinct. That's all BS. But when that happened, we were underground, and we've been babysitting you guys, helping you evolve as a race. And they're going to come up as the saviors, and that is bullshit. It's all wrong, and I just want to let your viewers know that, don't believe it. And I'm not saying this to, a lot of people are going to be mad, because a lot of people, they don't want to empower themselves. They don't want to pull their, goddamn pants up and say, I'm going to make the change for the world. They want politics to do it. They want aliens to do it. Because generally people, if a mothership came down, would get on their knees and go, save me, take me to Mars. Like, really? Get up. How long is humanity going to be on its knees? I'm just letting everyone know right now that if a reptilian comes out of that ship or a gray comes out of that ship, you better get ready, because the ship's going to interfere.
Okay.
And that's my message. If it happens, it's real or hoax or holographic hoax. But you guys have anything to say on that?
Well, like a Project Bluebeam, is that what you mean? Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, exactly. A little bit, but I've read a little on it. But I think that regardless how they do it, for all we know, it could be a real UFO that has real Dracos in it. They just decide to come down. And but I think regardless what happens, if it's not like an invasion type of deal, it could be just where we see them land on the White House lawn and they say, hi, we've been here watching over you type of deal.
Well, they won't
do that.
It doesn't
have to be.
They won't do that because we'll shoot at them. We'll shoot missiles at them.
Oh, yeah, right.
That's, think about humans for a minute and, how we react to the little things. We beat people up and hurt each other over stupid stuff. And just imagine if an alien landed and all of the belief systems immediately were challenged and all that stuff, especially in like the Middle East and stuff like that. I mean, the earth would, the cities would be on fire, man. It'd be burning. People would be rioting and in certain parts. I'm not saying everybody, but there's all these, the fundamentalists out there would be, they'd be going batshit crazy, essentially.
Really, right.
And
I agree.
And people kill what they fear, or they try to destroy what they fear. And
but that's the conditioning, guy. But go ahead. You're right. You're
sure, it is.
Right.
It's exactly what it is, and it's a shame. Because I personally don't believe...
This is our job, though.
Yeah, I understand. And I personally don't believe...
Our job is we have to bring them up to a low vibration. I'm sorry.
That's right. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But
you believe what?
That's just part of, our conditioning or whatever. You know, they're gonna do that naturally. So.
Mm-hmm. You know, and we kill each other over black and white as it is. What do you think we're going to do if some lizard man decides to, you know, come off of, it's like, people are going to go crazy, and maybe that's why they have the FEMA camps. Maybe I don't know. There's a lot of shit going down really soon, and mass panic, it seems like everyone's preparing for mass panic. It could be, you know, Planet X Nibiru, it could be, you know, a fake alien invasion, it could be one way or another, you guys do realize, the reptilians, are going to say, hey, look, we're here. Or the Andromedon Council is going to say, look, we cleaned up the astral world, we've been here to help, we've destroyed the underground bases. You know, yeah, there's shit being sprayed in the sky and your waters are polluted, but we're here to help. And one way or another, things will unfold. For good or for bad.
Sure.
Yes, they will.
Yeah. You know, I don't believe we're on top of the food chain.
Not at all. Do you really want me to get into that, guy?
No, you know, and humans are okay with alien life as long as it's microbes or...
They're not eating us.
Yeah, or they're, you know, some little fishy swimming around in some primordial ooze on some other planet. But, you know, the minute they show up and all of a sudden they got a bigger stick, things are going to change.
Yeah.
You know, and then all of a sudden, most of the world will call them demons.
They're
going
to call them demons, yeah. Which
So,
is not true. It's not. I mean, again, I don't think they're all evil. The couple that I've seen weren't evil. And now the thing is that if you're a reptilian and you can shapeshift and you see that I see you, you're going to do one or two things. You're going to get real defensive because you know how humans are, which has happened. Or you're going to be like, holy shit, like, you can see me, cool, you know. But, you know, I'm not saying a few humans haven't been thrown in the stew pot in history. This is all through the hieroglyphics. Matter of fact, I'm going to post something on Facebook. These both were on Facebook. It shows the ancient, I think this is Aztecs. They all have peppers, and you can see, like, the big Draco, and there's, like, a pot with different body parts, of human body parts. You know, if you look at the ancients, they would sacrifice to the gods. Mostly virgins and all that BS, but they would sacrifice us to the gods, to the sky gods. If you look at any biblical text,
right.
You know, the lizard race is always there. The thing is that it's been taught to be forgotten about. And, you know, I don't like when people say that we did this to ourselves. Like, oh, you know, everything's all screwed up because humanity did it to itself. That's not true. Because there's a lot of people who are asleep. There's a lot of people who don't know what's going on, and it's not their fault. You know what I'm saying, Wendy?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, they're distracted.
Yeah.
And I really feel like not everyone is meant to actually be awakened. And it's hard for a lot of people to accept that because so many of us want to get the truth and the information out there. And, like, why won't you wake up seems to be the one thing that, you know, many truth seekers are so frustrated by. And it's hard to, you know, accept that, you know what, not everyone is supposed to. You have to just get the information out there and provide it. And then if that person isn't willing to awaken, you can't take it personally. You got to move forward to the next person and try to see if that person is one that is meant to be awakened. We're not all supposed to be a part of this change, is what I truly believe.
That's true. Can I ask you guys some questions if you don't mind? I know this is my show, but...
No, do whatever you want, dude.
Awesome, man, awesome. I want to start off with you, Guy. What do you think is going to happen? As far as a hybrid scenario and this, you know, UFO disclosure, reptilian alien disclosure, what do you think is going to happen in the years to come?
I don't think there's going to be a disclosure, not by us. There's too much power and control to be given up. When I talk about the government having this information, I don't talk about the civilian government like the elected government, like Obama and Congress and all that. Because, I mean, there may be a few congressmen and senators that are out there for, you know, that are, you know, in office their whole life, they may have some information. But, you got to understand that they took this information, whatever it may be, going from Roswell to, because we actually have no idea what they've got.
Right.
And it is compartmentalized to the point that one person doesn't know what the other person is doing. You know what I mean? And those people that have that information are in, they have a tremendous amount of power over everybody. They are literally above every single law on this planet. And they can and will do anything to keep this information from getting out, because
true.
It's human nature. Once you have power, you don't want to give it up. Just to give it up. What would be the incentive to do that?
Right.
And as far as a lot of these other things, I mean, I don't see how secrets can be kept when it's that big of a scenario. It's like Osama bin Laden. They're like, oh, he was killed 10 years ago, blah blah blah. But think about it. If he was really killed 10 years ago, what it would actually take for the whole world to keep that secret.
Right.
All the people in the Middle East, all of the smaller level people. You're talking keeping something secret for 10 years when all these people that how would the United States and Al Qaeda work together to keep that a secret? You know what I mean? It just didn't happen. There's no communication. The only reason we knew where he was in that mountain range to begin with is that Iran got so pissed off that they went to the United Nations and met with our intelligence services, because we had no communication with Iran, and they definitely don't want Al Qaeda anywhere around them. They're a big they are totally against. They're Shiites. They're totally against Al Qaeda. So as far as keeping secrets and disclosures and stuff like that, disclosure is not going to happen by us. You know what I equate disclosure to? The rapture for Christians. Disclosure is the rapture or the second coming for, UFO people or whatever.
Right.
They're petitioning the White House when, they have no information. They're not lying. They don't have any information.
No, it's all done by the black government, right?
Yeah, unless you're George Bush Sr. or Henry Kissinger or some of these people. They have that. They're in the know with that information. All these Cold War guys, probably Dick Cheney had information on that. So
they're all. I'm not even going to get into why they have it, or. But if you don't mind, Wendy, what do you see in the near future, next couple of years to come?
Well, as far as like a big disclosure thing, I agree. I don't see that happening. As far as people looking up for this big ship to come, they've already been here and alongside us the entire time. And what I've seen, visions and stuff that I've had, I've definitely seen a big change. And I've seen, even recently, just this huge kind of destructive vision where it's like an aftermath of something. And I haven't seen the actual cause of it. I've just seen the aftermath. So I'm not sure if it's, something nuclear or, exactly what has occurred. If it's a natural disaster, I just see the people and I can see them walking around in a daze and they just don't look well. Like looking at the color of the skin and stuff, it looks off. And unfortunately, a lot of it's been kind of, really a negative vision because I've seen a lot of destruction and blood and death, unfortunately. But after that, I do see things getting better and I see things being, not the same as they are now, but getting back to some form of normalcy. I just don't see everyone surviving it. So.
You know, I had a great sense of calm the same day that you.
Right, when I was telling Guy about what I had seen and everything, and I've seen things like this off and on, and I asked him if he had any kind of a sense of anything like that happening, because I had several friends who were psychics, and I'm like, are you feeling this? And I'm like, yes, and I'm seeing it too, and it's not good. It's almost like the decision has been made, and there is a big change that's on its way, and we do need to get ready. Are you doing anything for preparations or anything yourself for some kind of an event, Paul?
You know, I've thought about this, and I don't fear death because I don't think death exists. Personally, I feel that, you know, it's just death is kind of like waking up from a dream. I'm sure you guys had it where you had a dream where you fell, and when you hit the ground you wake up, or you've had a little scary dream where you're like, oh my God, there's no way out of this. Oh my God, you get real scared, and you wake up like, oh my God, thank God I'm here. So that's the same thing as death. So I'm not afraid. Yeah, I can't hear you. You're coming here now.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Kind of like the reason I have such a strong sense of calm is that, you know, I try to walk through life having no fear. So if I sense, you know, things are amiss, I'm immediately calm. Like when Wendy had her vision the other day, I was standing outside in the street looking at these clouds above this mountain, and they were... You know, I looked up and they immediately grabbed me. And over the years, I've learned to pay attention to those spidey senses, whatever I call them. And it was it was a real nasty thunderstorm coming in. And I looked at it, and I just felt this wave of calm come over me. Like... It was almost euphoric for a minute. And so, you know, I don't know really, I don't know if that's a feeling just for me or the area or whatever, you know. I'm in the middle of Utah, in the middle of a desert right now, you know.
How is Utah, by the way, compared to Philly? You said you just moved to Utah. Just to throw that in.
It's
I have a habit
dude.
sometimes to cut people off.
It's beautiful, man.
Right.
I mean, it's very serene, and you know, I lived in Philly the last 13 years, and I'd lived there in the late 80s for like 5 years. You know, playing in bands and stuff like that, and you know, I just had to get out of there, dude. It just was a really bad.
I feel a sense of urgency to get out of here. There's something in the inner me that's saying, dude, leave the city and leave the city fast, because the city's going to be swallowed, not swallowed, but it's going to be, once the shit hits the fan, so to say, there's going to be no internet in the city, and it's going to be panic and craziness. So, I mean, I just have to get out of the city is the feeling that I'm getting.
I've had that too. Yeah, I mean, too, Paul, I've had the same feeling, like I need to get away from the city. The city has been the biggest thing that I've been sensing lately. You know, somewhere out in the middle of nowhere is where I need to go soon, is what I've been feeling.
It's, but you know what, as far as preparation's concerned, that Wendy asked me, I don't feel the need to. I'm already prepared. You know, I'm consciously prepared. I'm spiritually. When I say spiritually, I don't mean religiously. I'm spiritually prepared for this change. I stand by humanity, and if humanity goes down, I want to go down with them. You know, if what I think is going to happen with humanity being knocked off and hybrids taken over, and that's the message that's really hitting me. It's that these hybrids, these miscarriages, are for a reason. You know, a lot of people say, oh, well, the Greys tell me, you know, a lot of bad things are going to happen on the planet, but don't worry, I'm going to be saved. And, you know, after all these bad things happen, that all these good things are going to happen. But these good things do not involve me. They don't involve you. They don't involve Guy. They involve the hybrids, not us. And I get angry at this because I feel like, you know, because our government sold us out and, you know, basically said, you know, you can take as many people as you want. And now the government's lost control because, you're talking about reptilians and you're talking about greys. And, they're nowhere near the I mean, yeah, they have probably a lot of technology and they can time travel and that shit, but they life us have to drive. And I kind of feel like when this so-called shift happens of consciousness, I hope it's a positive one. But if everyone's destined to be recycled, because I've heard in the past that humanity has been recycled, I'm going down with the people,
Yeah, dude,
my passion for people, dude.
I'm gonna get a lawn
chair. Go ahead, guy.
I'm gonna get a lawn chair, a couple 40s.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit in my front yard with my dogs.
Yeah.
Probably get a big fat one. I haven't smoked pot in 20 years, and just watch it all go down, man.
Yeah, I just drink beer. I don't know about the pot, but I'll have a whole beers with you.
Yeah, man. I mean, I haven't smoked that, and you know what? The last time I smoked weed was 9/11.
Was it?
Yeah, it
wow.
took me like 5 hours to get out of the city, and I had to finally take a cab ride, and a bunch of kids. Well, the guy was Hindu, and the guy took me to Bristol, and people were throwing shit at his cab. A bunch of kids.
Man, that had to be rough.
Look, there's one of them. I mean, that's what they say. Yeah, I was
and
right there.
Goes to show if aliens came down, what would we do to them? That right there is the reason.
Dude, they started.
It's the reason.
I was at Independence Hall. Right across the street at the Prudential Building, working for a publisher.
Yeah.
And you know how they have the lunch trucks all over, the little carts? Well, they had a guy, he was Muslim, and people started rocking his cart with him in it.
Oh, my God.
Police had to come, because ATF showed up, dude. They were worried about, blowing up we were all sitting there, And all of a sudden we hear, the guys are banging on it, and they're moving it back and forth. You son of a bitch. It's unbelievable. And I'm just like, my God, man. I mean.
Well, you see the real ignorance, and God, you see the real ignorance in people, because obviously a man is Hindu, he's not Muslim. But because they see the turban and the beard, it's like, oh, he's Muslim. And I'm like, really? Like, this. Sometimes I look at people and how people act, Guy, and now go ahead. I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, you're talking about extremism with Muslims. I mean, regular Muslims, they're just like regular Christians and regular Catholics. They don't hate. They're peaceful people, and it's only when you get people that exploit different passages for their own use and start extremism that you have these people flying stuff into planes into buildings, and you have fundamentalist Christians doing all this crazy crap, and fundamentalist Hindus killing Muslims. That's where all that comes from, and people don't understand that.
But since we're on the whole UFO subject, do you think humans were ever eaten by reptilians in the past?
They were eaten?
All the hieroglyphics point to that. Yeah, sacrifice eat.
Oh, are you talking about like Sumerian and Canaanite and stuff like that?
Right.
Because, they're showed. I don't know if eaten, but I know they're shown nursing babies, nursing human babies.
Oh yeah, you've seen that one too.
Yeah, and there's. I don't go to that. I really, when it comes to that, I don't. I haven't really seen a lot of data on that at all. It's been mainly just recycled stuff that somebody wrote on a bulletin board in the 80s and is still being recycled as something new, So I haven't seen us being in any capacity being used as food. So I believe you when you say that we've been manipulated. I mean, we sure as hell didn't evolve this way. I mean, we actually devolved, we lost all our hair and our ability to smell and sight and hearing and all that stuff that kept us alive over millions and millions of years, and now we got to manufacture stuff to keep us warm, keep us cool, help us hear better, glasses so we can see. You know what I mean? I mean, we lost all of that stuff for a reason.
Exactly.
So whether it was...
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Whether it was for... we were manipulated, or we're just...
I think so.
Yeah, I think we were manipulated. I really do. I think there was a point back in the day, because it doesn't make sense that everybody lost their hair. If you look at evolution,
isn't that weird?
Yeah, they say things like, "Oh, we migrated out of Africa, and we didn't need it. We
Our
mutated."
testosterone's too high. And,
yeah, but I'm like, look, man, there's people that have lived, societies that have lived in the cold mountains for millennia. They lost all their hair. They're walking around wearing coats and and all that stuff. That's the type of stuff that I think about. Not that it doesn't like reinforce my belief in or my opinions about UFOs and aliens and stuff. Is like, look at it. Why would that happen? Why would that happen worldwide to everybody? Every every line of humans, because there's many. Asians, Irish, the gingers with no souls. You have all these, the Persians and Greeks and all those Mediterranean and, and all the ethnicities that died out, And so I truly believe that there was some sort of shenanigans going on with our DNA.
And Paul, I know that you're always out and about in the middle of the action, attending, protest stakeouts and conventions and everything like that. What kind of things have you done personally to kind of investigate, the hybrids and the grays and stuff? Can you share a little about that, or?
That's a really good question, and I would love to. I've sent stuff out on Craigslist. Have you ever been abducted by aliens or UFOs? Have missing time, and I've actually tried my own. How I say how the whole hipster movement in Philly with the coffee shops and the bars and the fact that there's now hear me out for a second, because this makes a lot of sense. There's no jobs and there's no economy, right? The economy's shitty. Now you have, I think, 13 factories that have been redone in the city. 13 that have at least 30 people, okay? If me or you would have rented it, would cost us at least $1,200 for a one-bedroom apartment. Where's all this money coming from? There's no jobs, okay? So you're talking about 13 times 30, all right? And then you're looking at all the coffee shops that are being opened, all the new bars, the new clubs. They don't socialize with people. They keep to themselves. And like I said, it's not like a peace, let's clean up the earth type of thing. It's like what I did to answer Winnie's question is basically I just went to one of the bars, and the feeling I got was half positive and half negative because, I'm a positive person, and I try to pump out as much love energy as I can with people. And if I walk down, down the street, people say hi, I don't even know, shake my hand, shit. And so I did that. I said, well, let me see if I'm wrong, see if I'm right. And I went to the bar, and I made eye contact, and I'm telling you, you're going to think this is crazy, but hybrids are among us. I did my own research, and I went into these bars, and some of them are nice, and I would say about 80% of them are nice. But I've went to I've checked things out, and it just doesn't make sense to me. Why is there 13 factories in the city of Philadelphia? Where's all this money coming from? It's, in my opinion, it's government funded. The government's basically saying, okay, you guys, when the shit hits the fan, you guys are going to be here to calm down the masses. That could make sense. I mean, it could be that. It could be when the shit hits the fan that, they're going to take over. And it's something's going to happen, but I know that they're not 100% human.
So what do you do when you're there? Do you just do you ask specific questions, or you just observe? What are you doing?
I do ask questions because you know what, you guys, you see me, and I'm wild, and I have a wild spirit. So it's not, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it the way French Truthchaser would do it.
Right, of course.
But so I did, yeah. I mean, I would observe things, and I asked this guy, and I said, "So what are you talking about, buddy?" He said, "Oh, it's complicated." I said, "It's complicated." I said, "Look, man, I'm sitting here drinking a beer. I've got all night," and he basically, we were talking, and he would say, you're not from here, and where do you work? I never get a straight answer. And if I do get an answer, it's kind of like I work in a hippie shop, or I work at this bar, that bar, I think the one guy told me he was a computer tech specialist or something like that. But I would mingle and treat them exactly how I would treat someone who wasn't a hybrid, because I'm not going to go in there and discriminate, because you're talking about someone who's half human and half reptilian or half gray, and they have telepathy powers way beyond us probably. So if I go in there with judgmental energy, they're going to feel it, and that's what I'm going to get back. What I give is what I'm going to get back. So I would go in there with love and light, and I just poke around, answer a couple of things. I mean, see, you don't really have to physically come out and say it, because they feel you.
Exactly, and because they are so telepathic, do you ever receive any messages telepathic yourself while you're in their presence?
I do. All the time.
Right.
All the time.
That's okay.
All the time. It's basically, as far as talking, I'll make small talk, but right off the bat, they just know that it's small talk. It's like, don't bother me with your small talk. But you can talk to them and have a conversation about music or anything, while the whole time you're talking telepathically, you're getting stuff sent to you. It's been mostly positive with me, because I think, they're so, you got to realize that these people that are hybrids stick together, because humanity doesn't know how to handle this. And especially if they're here to replace us, humanity, again, doesn't fit in with them. So by me going and say, if you're a hybrid, Wesley, let's just say I go in your bar, right? You're sitting there, and you're going to be like, wow, this guy sees me, he feels me, he knows what I'm about, and he, more than anything, that he accepts it. And I think that's why I've got a lot of positive feedback, and I know what I know. Because when I search for answers from the universe or from anything, when you search through love, you're going to get back love. When you search through hate, you're going to get back hate. And like I said, 80% of them are positive. There's a few that aren't, and it's kind of like a get the hell away from me type of thing. It's kind of like people that are listening are like, yeah, because he's crazy, he's going into a bar, he thinks they're full of hybrids. But it's kind of one of those deals where it's the answers I would get back would be telepathically. And they're here. They seem like they're here. They don't have hate in them. 80% that I've talked to, that I've felt, they don't seem like they're all about the mission. If that makes sense.
Exactly. It's all about the greater good.
Right, they don't care about petty shit. They don't care about the petty bullshit. Because I'm sitting right now and I'm really thinking on this, and I'm kind of taking myself back to where I was when I, would hang out in the bars and all. They're just all about. They're all about themselves. They're all about sticking together. They're not worried about, they call us the locals. They're not worried about us. They're just worried about planting their gardens, sticking together, and it's like they're waiting for something. But as they're waiting for something, they just stick together. Like I said, and I told you this off the show, Wendy. I said, without us, there is no them. You realize that?
Right. Yes. You do.
Half of us is them. And I feel that they can't look down on us, because if I remember correctly from my studies and what I studied, the Grays had a real difficult time with the emotional state of their offspring, their clones, their hybrids. So their emotions that they get, all that junk love and pain and all that stuff comes from us. So if I was to feel the presence of a hybrid and they were to pump negative energy towards me, I think I would put them in their place real quick and be like, listen, you're not shit without us. But, yeah. But does that answer your question or not?
Yeah, absolutely. And so, really they sense that you're open-minded and you're more curious as opposed to a threat. And so they're normally courteous and kind to you.
It seems to be that way. Because it's kind of like the first thing I do when I go there, to certain bars where I know where they're at, or if you got to understand, when you do telepathy, it's within seconds. It's not like you stand there for minutes. So you can walk by someone and they can telepathically hit you with like 3 days worth of knowledge. And so what I've done was I would walk by and everything I know about you, aliens, the Greys, underground bases, different things about the Dracos, the Andromedans, the Pleiadians, Delirians, I would walk by them, and if I sensed that they were, different from us, I would hit them with that. All my thoughts, I would just hit them with that. And as soon as I would do that, they would smile and then hit me with what they know. It's powerful. It's 80% of it's love. I've got negative feedback. If you want me to talk about that, it's up to you.
Sure, absolutely. Anything that you want to share. And I want you to know, too, that, sharing your experiences and stuff, you should never worry about what people are going to think. What matters is really what resonates true in your heart and with yourself. And anyone out there that wants to judge you, they really need to look at themselves first. But definitely, I want to hear all about your experiences, and even if they're negative, go right ahead.
Well, the negative feedback I got from kind of, researching the whole hybrid thing was, it's kind of like a you're below me type of feeling.
Okay.
And it's not like I'm saying that because it's like I'm insecure or that's how I've been brought up or raised. Like I've always got along with people. I've always been within, had no problems with people. What I mean by that is that when it's like the few that I've tried to, connect with, it was like, I don't even want to be bothered with you. Like, you're scum. Like, you're human. Nothing to say to you.
Right.
And maybe, and you have to realize that emotion is a powerful thing. And if you're a hybrid and you have, the benefit of being ET and human emotions, sometimes it can be, hard to control. And, where there's love, there's not. Sometimes there's hate. And, maybe they hate us because they're not 100% us. And they are the hybrid side. And, that's where it comes back to love and light. You give them that love and say, all right, well, it's no big deal. Hey. And that's where I get into the girl that was telling me that shapeshifted. It was, look, beauty is beauty. Like, I told her, I was like, look, I hope I see you again. I want to look you in the eyes now and hold you. And knowing that you know that I know and, I know that you know, I want to hold you and tell you that you're beautiful. And that's what it's all about. Now that you know, and the cat's out the box, or the rat, whatever it's called that.
Cat's out the bag.
Right, out of the bag. That's how I feel. And is there hope for humanity? In my eyes, yes, there's hope for humanity. I don't care if the Zetas, the Greys are against us and the hybrids are going to take over. I don't care if we're being killed through water, air, and war and famine. And I will never lose hope because I do believe that through, your thoughts you can create your own reality. And if I wake up and you wake up and Guy wakes up enough people to the shit that's going down that maybe in other people's reality that are negative, they'll have that outcome. But in our reality, we'll have a different outcome. So it's like you understand? So there's two different outcomes.
Exactly.
The positive people have a positive outcome. The negative people are going to have the World War III. Let them have their World War III and let the Zetas and all the negative beings eat off their negative energy. But in our reality, it's going to be different. And I think your viewers really need to understand this because it's real important because a lot of people think like, well, I'm only one person. How can I change the world? And if I only wake up 5 people out of 1,000 that I try to reach, how can we change the world? Because, all right, those 5 people that you reach, you can transform their reality. And they might not have, you know, the same outcome. One more thing I want to say is it's about the web that's been around the planet. And it's called a veil, yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, what a lot of, this is what I got from a hybrid that was actually, I was talking to him when I was planting a garden. And in the telepathic message was basically, he wasn't born on this planet. The Greys make sure, and the Dracos and, you know, the reptilians make sure that their offspring are born off the planet. The reason for that is that when they die, you know, they're not trapped in the karma veil that we are as on-worlders, and there's a web that's around the planet. That's why people have deja vu, because what happens is when they die and they go to the astral world, they hit that web and they come right back down again, and they're recycled into, you know, the life force, life energy. But this is why a lot of people are saying, well, Planet X never was supposed to break the web, and we're all going to ascend. But I do know that these hybrids are off-world born. I mean, that's what Love and Light does. You know, they shared this info with me. So I'll probably be murdered or have a stroke in the next year. So if you don't hear from Prince Truthchaser, you know what I'm saying, guys? If you don't hear from me, dude, the government got me, man. Because the stuff that I know, not a lot of people know. But, you know, it is what it is. And I would rather die in service than in service of the people than, you know, die knowing what I know and not doing anything about it. Because, you know, I would love to play PS3. You know, John Madden 2013 is coming out. I love doing the tournaments.
Right.
You know, I'm a normal guy. Like, I play video games, and I love, you know, my alcohol from time to time. You know, you go to a party, have a couple of drinks. I love the company of a female. That's my thing. That's my release from this, you know, truth chasing and trying to wake up the world. I love to relax and have the company of a woman and live normal. I live normal just like everyone else.
UFOs and hoes, man.
UFOs and hoes, my bro. But you know what, guy? You know what, dude? I could say screw it all, guy, and I could just like say, look, I'm going to settle down. I'm going to have the white picket fence with the pool and the wife and kids. You know, just. But every time I look up in the sky, I'm going to see it. Every time I taste the nasty water, I'm going to see it. And you know, once you're awake, you're awake. There is no going back. There is no, okay, I know all this information, so I'm just going to go back to sleep again. It doesn't work like that. You're here, you know, the button's already been pushed. You're here to do a job, suck it up, you know, and just try to, you know, no matter how many friends you lose, no matter how many family you lose, they call you a psychopath, you're crazy, and, you know, you have to suck it up, and you have to do your job, and it gets frustrating at times when you try to wake people up. But, you know, just, we have to keep going, and we have to somehow hold on to a normal life so we don't go insane, waking people up. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the hoes and UFOs come in. But, I don't know. It's,
well, you know what? I used to do a different radio show and for a few years, and I would, you know, I was pretty open about it at my job in Philly, and you know, I had people coming up to me and talking to me like the, you know, vice president of HR. You know, I talked to her for 3 hours one Friday night.
Right.
And she's just like, you know, I can't talk about this with anybody. You know, because people are afraid of, they're afraid of being ridiculed, and they're afraid of,
right.
You know, and so they just go back to sleep or whatever. But it's weird when someone like me or you or Wendy get in a conversation with someone like this, they tend to open up. You know, I've had bosses and co-workers they'll be like, send me an email to a link that's like, oh, dude, did you hear about this? You know what I mean? They're just like,
right.
they kind of get excited about it. So I think it's just a matter of when you get enough people together, they'll start talking about it when they realize that it's okay to talk about things and not be ridiculed.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I mean, I have a buddy of mine. He sends me stuff on Coast to Coast AM, but he's not going to publicly come out and hand out flyers like there's hybrids here or there's chemtrails there, or the New World Order and all that. But it's kind of like I'm his release.
Right.
It's his you know what I'm saying? Right. I'm the person that he can go to and say, hey, look, I've seen this, or hey, I read about this, like you said. But
yeah, they can talk. Their interest is piqued, and they can have a conversation with somebody without being, you know what I mean?
Ridicule.
Or just not so much ridicule, but made, people can be condescending and stuff like that, and like, oh, that's not true. You know what I mean? They just blow it off just immediately without even thinking about it. And that's where the fear comes in.
Fear is what they control us with. And I'm telling you, when I first started, people said, well, when did you first wake up? And when did you first wake up? Were you awake? And I said, I always was. When I popped out of my mom, I was there. I was always thinking outside the box, and ever since a young age. I mean, I've had people say, oh, you're a diamond in the rough. But no ego intended when I say this, but people were like, oh, you're different, you're this. And, I just never put too much thought into it. Like, I never gotten, really realized it. But, and people need to realize when you first go against the slave system that we're born in, when they first decide to say, okay, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to make a change, whether it helps or not, and you're going to be ridiculed. You're going to be, you're going to go through that, and I'm just used to it now. I mean, I've been outside handing out flyers. I go door to door in the heat and do like 400 houses a week or two, and flyers, and I've had shit thrown at me. Like, hey, look, it's the truth crate. It's the, what do you call me, the shit chaser or something? And threw a talk at me. I'm used to it. It's just to the point I just laugh it off. When it first had happened to me, I was devastated. I was just like, and then I went back to David Icke when he was man's ridiculed on TV, and I think it was which show was he on? I forget the exact show he was on, but he was ridiculed when he first started, and he made a comment. He said, well, I could do one or two things. I could sit in the corner and cry and go back to sleep and live a normal life, or I can shake it off, say, this is who I am, and I'm going to deal with it. And a lot of things I'm talking about on this show are going to turn a lot of heads, Wendy and Guy, because I'm giving you guys information that not a lot of people know, and hopefully the government doesn't get a hold of it. Because I know a lot of shit that people just don't know. And it comes back to what Guy said, power is power, and, I don't know if people in power would be too happy knowing that I'm out giving out 400 flyers every 2 weeks. It's exposing what they do. Am I afraid? Of course I'm not, because like I said, I'm in service to the people, and if they get me, they get me. Hopefully if they do get me, or whatever happens, that when I pass, like I told Wendy off the air before I said that, hopefully there's a way I can get out of this web, because like I said, there's a web around the planet. There's an energy field around the planet, and hopefully there's a portal or something where I can get the hell off this planet and go back to Lyra. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Wendy?
Exactly. And, Paul, you were talking about, some of the bad experiences going to door and stuff like that. What kind of positive supportive experiences have you received? Has there been any support from your family or for what you're doing?
You know what? They're really, really, the support that I had got from my family was an unexpected support, and it was something I'll remember for the rest of my life. My dad, he wasn't the perfect father, but, he, who is, right? Everyone makes mistakes. And what had happened was he had a stroke, and, I was there for him, and my brother, was now there for him, and they get along great and all. And well, at one time, they really didn't, whatever. But that's family business. But the one thing that I would say was positive that had happened when and everyone was laughing at me, saying, "Oh, look at him, it's Prince crazy," and all that stuff, and the people's Prince, he's a fake, he's a fraud, and my dad and me were at the bar, and he's like, they're all laughing at you, son. And I said, you know what, Dad, I know they are, but I know where I'm going to be in the next year or two. I one foot after another, keep trying to wake up as many people as I can through love and light, and I know where I'm going to be. Because I believe I'm the best at what I do, and that's waking up people and bringing love. There's no one better in my mind. And I said, if you would compare me as the number one draft pick in football, I'm the number one draft pick, and I'm ready. My passion is there. I'm hungry for what I do, and he took his beer and he tipped the beer to me. And my whole life, I've always had to fight for acceptance from this man.
Mm-hmm.
When he did that, I was just like wow, here was this man that was so tough before he had the stroke and so hard, and now this is probably the greatest moment of my life, and that actually didn't happen that long ago, but it's wow, I'll never forget that.
That's definitely incredible.
They say.
But is there anything else?
Yeah, they say when people's had something traumatic like that happen, like a stroke, heart attack, that they wake up, in a sense.
Yeah.
To whether it's
weird, isn't it?
Yeah. It's it happens to a lot of people, and that's cool that you and your dad could have that moment.
Yeah.
And Paul, I know that you have. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I know that you have some exciting projects that you're going to have coming up. Do you want to share today, or?
I love how you keep things fresh. As soon as things start getting going in the show, and he's just like, woo! You're on cue. You're on cue. Yeah, I actually do have some projects. I'm actually going to be in, I'm going to be in California. Hopefully in another 2 weeks. I'm going to be in a chemtrail conference with Sophia Smallstorm and a couple other people, and that's going to be really cool. I'm going to be doing interviews on abductees. So I'm going to be doing that.
Okay.
Are you going to give a presentation or anything like that?
Or a radio show, maybe?
Yeah, at the conference.
At the conference, I'm probably going to do a little filming, and hopefully my audio on my phone's going to be working good this time. And then the cool thing is I'm going to film and I'm going to do interviews. Like I'll actually, be allowed to interview Sophia and a couple other people. There's going to be a weatherman that's there that's coming forward actually about the chemtrails brands. Kick-ass. So I'm going to interview him and ask him, questions. So I got that. I'm going to do that. I don't know if I'm going to be speaking. I'm going to try to speak. It would be great if I could speak. I'm going to, you guys know me. I'm going to be all over the place there anyway. So my energy is going to be everywhere. So I'm just going to be like, hey, I want to talk. And if they have the time, hopefully they'll let me. But if not, just me going there and doing the interviews and especially with the weathermen, it's what people need to see worldwide because, I met this guy Reese about a week and a half ago, and he showed me a chemtrail. He showed me a chemtrail video that he had did, and he's like, "Wow, I thought I was crazy. I thought I was the only one that seen this stuff." So it's all about letting other people see, hey, look, man, this is what it's about. This is what's there are people out here who are trying to stop this stuff and wake up the world. But I've got that I'm doing, and I'm going to be doing interviews with people that have been abducted, and so that other people who have been abducted can see that and say, I'm not the only one. I'm not crazy. I had missing time, and my fetus was taken away from me, which has happened to millions of people. And there's a lot of people that just feel alone right now, and it's our job to say, hey, listen, I love you. You're not alone. And then which brings everything we do comes back to love. not about how much money, it's not about we make a name for ourselves. Everything comes back to love. And if it doesn't come back to love for you, someone, then they're going to be stuck. They're going to be what I call negative energy eater. But other than those two things, I'll keep you guys posted as far as any other, upcoming projects I have.
Great. We're definitely looking forward to hearing what else you have. Can you tell everyone how they can watch your YouTube videos to get more information?
Yeah, it's you can go to I think it's http PrinceTruthchaser.yolasite.com. That's my website. And you can just basically click on the YouTube. You would go to www.youtube, Prince Truthchaser. Hit the Channel of Truth. That's the Channel of Truth. All my videos are there. It's for some people. For some people, it's not. Again, it's all about love and light, and so that's my YouTube.
Later, at some point, would you message me your website address again? Because the one that you had sent to me, I didn't have it. It wasn't the exact right one. It didn't work. Because I'd like to post it on the site. That way everyone can just go to lightwavesradio.com and they can get both those links.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, it's a free website, but I'll make sure I do that. I'll definitely.
So what would you say is like your most important message, Paul, that you really want to get out there to all the listeners? Is it love, and what would that be?
My most important message is basically, humanity in general right now is we're at a stepping stone right now, and basically the stepping stone is it's either going to be love or it's going to be fear. And are we being recycled? It kind of seems that way. I mean, the list goes on, but regardless of what happens between this show and the next years to come, the message is clear. It's that, look at your children. They're happy. They don't know what's going on. Fight for them. Get up off your couch and try to make a difference, because, even if things look bad and, we got to stay positive, we got to put love in our heart, and we got to try to make a difference for our kids, because if there is hope for a future, and which goes back to what I said, that, if you create the reality of love and light, maybe that it's possible that could be your manifestation through thought, and that could be your future. We gotta make the effort. If we don't make the effort, then it's checkmate. So my message for humanity is hold each other, hug each other, love each other, and be the change you want to see in the world.
And that's it.
Or as Bill and Ted would say, just be excellent to each other, and everything's cool, man. I mean,
Right. Are we still on air? Or?
Absolutely. Were there any other things that you wanted to share before we do go ahead and close? Because I want to make sure we get everything out.
I just want to say, thanks guys for having me on, and
Well, hey, we're sorry about yesterday.
Put me on your show, and
definitely.
That's okay.
And we're really happy that you came out to share.
Yeah, I'm actually glad that things worked out the way they did yesterday, because I really wasn't. Things probably wouldn't have turned out. I think the show was pretty good today, so it probably would have been a little different yesterday.
Well, things do happen for a reason. It was meant to be today.
They do. I guess I really don't have much else to say.
Okay. So, again, so happy that you came on and shared all of your information. Do keep us up to date with what you're doing, and let us know. And when we have more information, maybe we can talk with you again.
Right. So you guys are both on my Facebook. Also, post anything on my wall that you want. Any websites that you want me to put on my web wall or whatever, let me know. Guy, anything you're working on, any projects you're working on, same thing, dude, let me know.
All right, you got it. I appreciate it.
All right.
Paul.
Seriously, look, we have to do this together, guys.
We do. We all do need to work together as one. Great, and thank you everyone for listening to Lightwaves Radio. Again, for more information on Paul Wesley, Prince Truthchaser, go ahead and go to lightwavesradio.com, and we'll have those links for you. Have an amazing evening, everyone.
Love and light, everybody.